His face went white. I'm talking white as a ghost. White like he just saw his whole life flash before his eyes and realized he'd been playing checkers while I was playing chess. The courtroom was dead silent. I mean, silent. You could hear the AC humming. You could hear Darnell's lawyer shuffling papers. You could hear Mama Mitchell breathing heavy in the gallery behind us. My lawyer, Veronica Stone, stood up, adjusted her glasses, opened her folder. Your Honor, before we proceed with asset division, I need to establish my client's financial position. I didn't look at Darnell. Didn't need to. I could feel him over there, relaxed, confident, probably thinking about how he was going to take half my little 401k and my Honda Civic. Poor baby. He had no idea what was coming. My client, Nicole Brooks, owns 3 rental properties in the Atlanta metropolitan area, purchased in 2018, 2019, and 2021. Current combined value, $1.2 million. I heard Darnell shift in his seat. What? That was him, out loud, in court. His lawyer grabbed his arm, trying to shut him up, but Veronica wasn't done. My client also maintains a private investment portfolio established in 2016. Current value, $2.8 million. Darnell's chair scraped against the floor. Additionally, my client co-founded a technology company called Data Shield Solutions in 2015. She sold her majority stake but retained 34% ownership. Veronica paused, looked directly at Darnell. Current valuation of that stake, $4.6 million. And then I heard it, from the gallery. Mama Mitchell screamed. Not words, just a sound, like someone stepped on her soul. Darnell's face went pale. I mean, white as a ghost. Like everything he thought he knew just crumbled right in front of him. And me? I just sat there. Quiet, the same way I've been quiet for 4 years. He married me thinking I was broke, thinking he was doing me a favor, thinking I should be grateful, thinking I had no options without him. He was wrong. And now, he was about to find out exactly how wrong. But before I tell you how we got here, I need you to do something for me. If you've ever been underestimated, if you've ever had somebody look at you and decide you weren't worth much, if you've ever stayed quiet when you could have been loud, hit that subscribe button right now and drop a comment below. Tell me, he played himself. Because this story is for every woman who's ever been counted out, and it's about to get real good. Now let me take you back to how a man married a millionaire and didn't even know it. Let me tell you about my grandmother. Grandma Ruth worked her whole life cleaning houses for rich white folks in Buckhead. 50 years, Monday through Saturday, on her knees, scrubbing floors, washing clothes, raising their children, while her own waited at home. You know what she had when she died? A paid-off house, $40,000 in savings, and a granddaughter who listened to every word she ever said. Most people thought Grandma Ruth was poor. She wanted them to think that. Baby girl, she used to tell me, let people underestimate you. It's the greatest gift they can give you. I was 16 when she sat me down at her kitchen table, pushed a cup of sweet tea toward me, and changed my whole life with one conversation. Nicole, men are going to come for you. Some going to want your body, some going to want your time. But the dangerous ones going to want your money. And they're going to pretend they want everything else first. She told me about my grandfather, how he married her, found out she had savings, drained every penny, and disappeared. She told me about my mama's 3 ex-husbands, how each one sniffed out what little she had and took it when they left. The women in this family got a curse, she said. We attract men who want to subtract. Then she leaned in close. But you gonna be different. You gonna learn to be invisible. You gonna build in silence. And you gonna let these men think they winnin' until the day you show them they already lost. So that's exactly what I did. Georgia Tech on scholarship, computer science, met my girl Maya freshman year. Both of us from nothing, both of us hungry. Junior year, we built a cybersecurity tool for a class project. Senior year, we won a startup competition. 2 years after graduation, Data Shield Solutions was born. 2019, a big tech company came knocking, offered to buy us out. Maya wanted to keep running it. I wanted flexibility. So we made a deal. Maya bought my majority stake for $3.2 million. I kept 34% as a silent partner. Just like that, 29 years old, millionaire. You know what I did with that money? I didn't buy a mansion, didn't buy a Benz, didn't change my address or my wardrobe or my whole life. I kept my apartment in Decatur, kept driving my Honda, kept wearing jeans and T-shirts to the tech company I joined for health insurance and a cover story, and I started buying property. First rental house in 2018. Used Grandma Ruth's inheritance as down payment. Second in 2019. Third in 2021. Built my investment portfolio, set up trusts, created LLCs, all in my name, all protected, all invisible. Now I know what some of y'all are thinking right now. Nicole, that's lying. That's deception. How you going to start a relationship on lies? Okay, let me ask you something. When you met your man, did you tell him your exact salary on the first date? Did you show him your bank statements before he showed you his character? Did you hand over your social security number and say, "Here, baby, run a credit check"? No? Then what's the difference? My grandma didn't teach me to lie. She taught me to wait. Wait until a man proves he's not going to subtract from your life. Wait until he shows you who he really is when he thinks you got nothing. Wait until his character speaks louder than his promises. I didn't lie to Darnell. I just didn't tell him everything. There's a difference. And before you judge me, wait till you hear how he acted when he thought I was broke. Then tell me if he deserved to know. I met Darnell Mitchell at a church fish fry, October 2019, New Harvest Baptist Church. My coworker Denise wouldn't stop asking me to come, so I finally said yes. He was holding court by the dessert table. Tall, nice smile, expensive watch, loud laugh that made everyone around him feel like they were part of something special. I was sitting alone at a table by the wall, eating my catfish, minding my business. He walked over. Now, why is the prettiest woman here sitting all by herself? Classic line. I'd heard it 100 times. But something about how he said it, like he already expected me to be grateful for his attention. I'm good with my own company, I said. He laughed, sat down anyway. I'm Darnell, and I respect a woman who knows how to be alone. Most women need a man. It's refreshing to meet one who doesn't. I should have heard what he was really saying. Most women are needy. You seem low maintenance. But I was 32, tired of bad dates, and honestly, he was charming. So I gave him my number. First date, nice steakhouse in Midtown. When the bill came, Darnell made a show of paying, like he was performing for an audience. Don't even think about reaching for your wallet. When you're with Darnell Mitchell, you don't pay for nothing. I smiled, said thank you, but in my head, I heard Grandma Ruth. When a man makes a show of paying, he's keeping receipts. He's gonna want that money back somehow. Second date, third date, fourth date. Every time he found ways to mention money. My ex was a gold digger, always wanting this, wanting that. You're different, Nicole. You're humble. I make good money, 6 figures. You don't have to worry about anything with me. See, I like a simple woman, a woman who appreciates what she has. He was telling me exactly what he was looking for. A woman who wouldn't cost much. A woman who would be grateful. A woman who thought she was getting a good deal. And every time he said it, I just nodded, smiled. Let him believe he'd found exactly that. 3 months in, Darnell said it was time to meet his mother. She's gonna love you, he promised. She was worried I'd bring home another bougie girl who just wants my money. But you're real. Mama Mitchell lived in Stone Mountain, kept her house like a museum, plastic on the furniture, pictures of Darnell everywhere, like a shrine. She looked me up and down when I walked in, and I mean up and down. My simple dress from Target, my practical flats, my natural hair in twists. "So," she said, not even offering me a seat, "you're the one my son's been spending all his time with?" "Yes, ma'am. Nice to meet you." "Mm-hmm." She circled me like she was inspecting livestock at an auction. "What do you do, Nicole?" "I work in IT." "IT, like computers?" "Yes, ma'am." "That's nice." She said nice the way people say, "bless your heart," like it meant the opposite. She sat down, gestured for me to sit across from her. Darnell went to get drinks. The second he was out of earshot, she leaned forward. "My son makes 6 figures, you know that, right?" He mentioned it. He takes care of everyone. Me, his family, his woman. He doesn't need somebody who can't bring anything to the table. She looked me dead in the eyes. "So what do you bring to the table, Nicole?" I could have told her. Could have said, "Actually, ma'am, I bring about $8.6 million to the table. What do you bring besides opinions?" But I heard Grandma Ruth. Never show your cards to someone who's already decided you're bluffing. So I smiled. "I bring loyalty, ma'am, and peace. Your son works hard. He deserves to come home to peace." She didn't like that answer, I could tell. But Darnell came back with the drinks, and she transformed. Big smile, warm voice. "Darnell, baby, I like her. She's so humble." There's that word again, humble. They kept using it like a compliment. But what they really meant was, she knows her place. What they really meant was, she's not a threat. What they really meant was, she'll be grateful for whatever we give her. I smiled through that whole dinner, watched Mama Mitchell brag about her son, watched Darnell puff up with every compliment, watched them both look at me like I'd won the lottery just by being in the room with them. And I thought, this is a test. Let's see who you really are when you think you're the prize. Darnell proposed after 10 months. Big production, restaurant full of people, got down on one knee, everybody filming. "Nicole Brooks, you are the most humble, loyal, peaceful woman I've ever met. Would you do me the honor of becoming my wife?" I said yes. Not because I was madly in love. I cared about him. Thought maybe I could love him eventually. Thought maybe he'd grow into the man he pretended to be. But mostly, I said yes because I wanted to see. Grandma Ruth always said, you don't really know a man until you marry him. That's when the mask falls off. I was ready to see what was behind Darnell's mask. Wedding at New Harvest Baptist, reception at a venue in Buckhead. Total cost, $42,000. Darnell told everyone he was paying for everything. I got it, baby. My wife doesn't pay for her own wedding. What kind of man would I be? Reality? I paid 40%. Quietly. Cash from my rental income. Transferred to a joint wedding account. He paid vendors from that account. Told everyone he paid. I let him. Day of the wedding, Mama Mitchell pulled me aside. "You know," she said, adjusting my veil like she was doing me a favor, "my son could have had anyone. Doctors, lawyers, women with money." "I know, Mama Mitchell, but he chose you." She said it like she still couldn't understand why. "Don't mess it up." I smiled, nodded, walked down the aisle. Married a man who thought he was settling. Married into a family that thought I should be grateful. Married a whole situation that was about to show me everything I needed to know. Cancun, nice resort. Day 2. Darnell suggested we consolidate finances. "We're married now, baby. No secrets between us. Let's do a joint account." I agreed, but only partially. Opened one joint account. Connected my paycheck from my IT job. The $67,000 salary. I did not connect my investment accounts, did not connect my rental property income, did not connect my stake in Data Shield, did not connect any of my trusts or LLCs. Darnell looked at our joint account balance, saw my contribution. That's it? He tried to hide his disappointment. Failed. That's my salary, baby. What did you expect? No, it's fine. It's good. I make almost twice that, so I'll cover most things. Don't worry about it. And there it was, the first crack in the mask. He wanted me to have more. Not because he wanted a partner with her own money, but because he wanted more to control. First year of marriage, Darnell started checking the joint account every single day. Baby, what's this $45 at Target? Household stuff, cleaning supplies. $45 for cleaning supplies? Then came the allowance. I've been thinking, he said one night, to make budgeting easier, let's give you a set amount each month for your personal stuff. Hair, clothes, whatever. How much? $300 should be plenty, right? I mean, you don't really buy much anyway. $300 from my own paycheck that he was now managing. I could have said something. Could have told him I didn't need his budget or his permission. But I wanted to see how far he'd go. So I took the $300, smiled, said thank you, and kept building my empire in silence. By our first anniversary, this was my marriage. Darnell managed our finances. I got an allowance from my own money. He made every major decision without asking me. His mother came over every Sunday to criticize everything I did. I paid half of everything, but got credit for nothing. And Darnell was comfortable, happy with his humble wife who didn't ask for much, proud of himself for taking care of everything, completely unaware that the woman making his coffee every morning was worth more than he'd make in 50 lifetimes. Year 1, complete. Mask status, slipping. My patience, still intact. But year 2, year 3, that's when things got interesting. That's when I found out exactly who my husband had been spending his late nights at work with. Stay with me. Year 2 of marriage. On paper, everything looked perfect. We'd moved into a bigger apartment, Darnell's idea. My wife deserves nice things. Never mind that I'd been living in nice things for years, in properties he didn't know existed. He got promoted, regional sales manager. More money, bigger ego. And me? I became a prop in the Darnell Mitchell show. Every Sunday, Mama Mitchell came over for dinner. Every Sunday, I cooked. Every Sunday, she found something wrong. Nicole, this mac and cheese is missing something. I'll add more cheese next time, Mama Mitchell. My grandmother's recipe is better. I'll teach you sometime. Once I asked Darnell about it, quietly, after she left. Baby, your mama said my cooking isn't good enough. That hurt. He looked at me like I was speaking another language. Nicole, she's just trying to help. She has higher standards. You could learn from her. Higher standards. His mama, who lived off Social Security and whatever he gave her. His mama, who hadn't worked in 15 years. His mama, who thought Target was fine dining. She had higher standards than me. But I didn't argue, just nodded, added more cheese, and logged another note in the mental file I was building. Year 3. Darnell started questioning everything. Baby, why you need $200 for your hair? It's been 2 months since I got it done. $200 seems like a lot. My mama does her own hair. Nicole, I saw a charge for $40 at the bookstore. I bought books, Darnell. You already have books. I like to read. $40 is a lot for books. Meanwhile, he was going out for lunch every day, $15, $20. He was buying new golf clubs, $800. He was getting bottle service with the boys, $300 plus a night. He was sending money to his mama whenever she asked. But my $40 on books was the problem. Here's what kept me sane. None of it mattered. He was monitoring my little $67,000 salary like it was the Federal Reserve. But every month, my rental properties deposited income into accounts he didn't know existed. Every quarter, DataShield sent me dividend checks to a P.O. box he'd never seen. Every year, my net worth grew by hundreds of thousands, while he argued with me about books. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a little funny. He'd lecture me about our budget, and I'd nod, thinking about the 8 properties I'd toured that week, thinking about which one to buy next. You're right, baby. I'll be more careful. Then I'd quietly transfer another $20,000 into my investment account. One Sunday, Mama Mitchell cornered me in my own kitchen. "Nicole, honey, I'm worried about you." "Worried about what, Mama Mitchell?" "You're not contributing enough. To the household." I put down the dish I was washing. "What do you mean? My son makes good money. He provides. But what do you do? That little computer job? Maybe you should find something that pays better. Something that actually contributes." Her son provides. The same son who didn't know his wife owned the building his favorite barber shop was in. The same son who didn't know his broke wife could buy his mama's house in cash. Twice, today. "Thank you for the advice, Mama Mitchell. I really appreciate you looking out." She patted my shoulder. Satisfied she'd put me in my place, I went back to washing dishes, thinking about how sweet it was going to be when the truth came out. By year 3, I knew something was different. Not because Darnell was acting strange, but because he was acting too normal. First 2 years, he was all over me, checking in, calling during the day, wanting to know where I was, who I was with. Year 3, suddenly, he was relaxed. Not as many questions, not as much monitoring, happy to let me do my thing. Most women would be relieved. Finally, some space. But I knew better. When a controlling man suddenly gives you freedom, it's because his attention is somewhere else. I started paying attention. Little things first. New cologne, not the one I bought him. Gym membership. After 3 years of, I don't have time for the gym. New clothes, nicer underwear. Phone, always face down. Password changed. Then, bigger things. Working late, 3-4 nights a week. Business trips that weren't on his calendar. Credit card charges at restaurants we'd never been to, for 2 people. Weekend golf games that lasted 6-7 hours. I didn't confront him. That's what he'd expect. Drama, accusations, a fight he could flip around and make about my insecurity. Instead, I did what I do best. I watched. I documented. I waited. Tuesday night, Darnell was in the shower. His phone buzzed on the nightstand. I glanced at it. Just reflex. The preview showed a message from Kevin at work. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Kiss emoji." Kevin at work with a kiss emoji. I didn't touch the phone, didn't react, just logged it. Next day, I called Maya. "I need a favor." "What's wrong?" "Darnell's cheating. I need to know with who, and I need to know everything." Maya didn't hesitate. "I know a PI, the best. What do you need?" "Everything. Photos, receipts, timeline. I want to know her name, where she lives, and what she had for breakfast." Done. 2 weeks later, 37 pages. Her name was Keisha Williams, 31, marketing coordinator at Darnell's company. Married to Kevin Williams, accountant. That's why the message said Kevin. Darnell saved her number under her husband's name. The affair had been going on for 14 months. 14 months of hotels. 14 months of dinners I didn't know about. 14 months of him telling me we needed to cut back while spending hundreds on another woman. The folder had photos, them at dinner, holding hands, kissing in a parking lot, him going into her apartment building, her leaving in the morning wearing his shirt. You know what I felt when I saw those photos? Nothing. I'm serious. Nothing. No tears, no rage, no heartbreak. Just confirmation. This is who he was. This is who he always was. The mask was officially off. That night, Darnell came home at 8 p.m., said he'd been stuck in meetings. "Hey, baby," he kissed my forehead. "What's for dinner?" I'd made his favorite, baked chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens. "Smells amazing," he said, sitting down. I served him, poured his drink, sat across from him, watched him eat. How was your day? Crazy. Back-to-back meetings. You know how it is. Long day. The longest. I'm exhausted. I smiled. Well, you're home now. Rest. And we ate dinner. Like normal. Like nothing had changed. Now, I know some of y'all are screaming at me right now. Girl, confront him. Throw that folder in his face. Cut him. I understand the impulse. But here's what Grandma Ruth taught me. When you catch a man in a lie, you got two choices. You can show him what you know and watch him lie better, or you can stay quiet and watch him hang himself. I chose option 2. Darnell had no idea what was coming, and that's exactly how I wanted it. The next day, I made a phone call. Stone & Associates, how may I direct your call? I'd like to speak with Veronica Stone. May I ask what this is regarding? Divorce. 3 days later, I was sitting in the most intimidating office I'd ever seen. Dark wood everywhere, law books, floor to ceiling, framed articles about cases she'd won. Veronica Stone sat across from me, reading glasses on, yellow legal pad ready. All right, Nicole, tell me everything. So I did. The marriage, the controlling behavior, the affair, 14 months of documentation. She nodded, took notes, didn't react. Then I got to the good part. There's something else you should know. Go ahead. Darnell doesn't know about my finances, my real finances. She put her pen down. What do you mean, real finances? So I told her. Data Shield, the rental properties, the investment portfolio, the trusts, the LLCs, everything. When I finished, Veronica Stone took off her glasses, looked at me, and laughed. Child, she said, shaking her head, this man has no idea? None. He thinks you're just living off your IT salary? That's what he thinks, while you're sitting on $8 million? 8.6, actually, as of last month. She leaned back, still smiling. Nicole Brooks, this is going to be the most satisfying case I've ever handled. Here's the beautiful thing about your situation, Veronica explained. Georgia is an equitable distribution state. Assets get divided fairly, which doesn't always mean 50-50. Courts consider what each spouse contributed. Okay, your assets, the ones Darnell doesn't know about, they're almost all premarital. You bought those properties before you married him. Data Shield was founded years before you met. Your investment accounts started long ago. He can't touch them? He can try. His lawyer will argue you hid marital assets. But you didn't. You kept separate properties separate. You never commingled funds, never put his name on anything. Everything is documented. She smiled. He gets nothing. What do you want out of this divorce? I thought about it. I want him to know. I want him to sit in that courtroom and realize exactly how wrong he was about me. I want his mama there when it happens. And I want to walk away without giving him one single penny of what I built. Veronica nodded. We can do that. One more thing, I said. What's that? Keisha Williams is married. Her husband doesn't know about the affair. Veronica raised an eyebrow. You want him to find out? I want that to be my choice. Another card to play. She looked at me for a long moment. Most women in your position would be devastated, crying, angry. You're sitting here like you're planning a hostile takeover. I've had 3 years to prepare. I knew who he was before I married him. I just needed him to prove it. Why marry him at all? I thought about Grandma Ruth, about my mama, about all the women in my family who got taken by men who claimed to love them, because I needed to know I could beat them at their own game. Veronica smiled. All right, then, let's plan your victory. Over the next 3 months, I gathered everything. More photos of Darnell with Keisha, hotel receipts totaling over $12,000, text messages Maya's PI managed to recover, every lie documented, every dollar tracked. Meanwhile, at home, I played the perfect wife, cooked his meals, cleaned his house, smiled when he came home late from work. He had no idea. He'd kiss me goodbye in the morning and go to Keisha. He'd come home at night and tell me about his stressful day, and I'd nod, listen, serve him dinner, knowing exactly where he'd been. The hardest part was waiting. Every day I wanted to drop the bomb, show him the photos, watch his face fall. But Grandma Ruth's voice kept me steady. Patience, baby girl. The kill is sweeter when they don't see it coming. So I waited until the perfect moment. Darnell's company holiday party, black tie, all his colleagues, his boss. And of course, Keisha would be there, with her husband Kevin. I had my moment. Now it was time to use it. December 15th, Mitchell Pharmaceuticals Holiday Gala. I spent 2 hours getting ready. Hair done, the whole works. Makeup, beat to perfection. Dress, emerald green, designer. Something I'd had in my closet for years, but never worn around Darnell. Didn't want him asking questions about how I could afford it. When I walked into the living room, Darnell actually stopped scrolling his phone. Damn, Nicole, you look... I know. I grabbed my clutch. Ready? He blinked. Something in my energy was different, and he could feel it, but he couldn't figure out what. Yeah, let's go. The gala was at the Ritz-Carlton, downtown Atlanta. 200 people, executive leadership, sales teams, marketing, and there she was, Keisha Williams. Red dress, big smile, holding hands with a man I recognized from the PI photos, Kevin, her husband. Darnell saw them too. I watched his face cycle through emotions in half a second. Surprise, panic, forced calm. Oh, there's Keisha and her husband. Let me introduce you. Sure, baby. We walked over. Darnell's hand was sweating in mine. Kevin, good to see you, man. This is my wife, Nicole. Kevin shook my hand. Nice guy. Genuine smile. Had no idea his wife had been sleeping with my husband for over a year. Nice to meet you, Nicole. Darnell talks about you all the time. I bet he does. And this is Keisha, Darnell said. Voice too casual. She's on our marketing team. Keisha and I locked eyes. She knew that I knew. I could see the flicker of fear. I smiled warmly, extended my hand. So nice to finally meet you, Keisha. I've heard wonderful things. Her palm was damp. You too. Your dress is beautiful. Thank you. Yours too. I looked her up and down. Red is definitely your color. Halfway through the evening, I excused myself. Going to the restroom, baby. Darnell looked relieved. Okay, I'll be at the bar. I didn't go to the restroom. I went to find Kevin Williams. Found him at the dessert table, sampling chocolate truffles. Kevin, right? Yeah. Nicole. Enjoying the party? I am. I paused. Can I talk to you for a second? Privately? He looked confused, but nodded. We stepped into a quiet hallway. What's going on? I reached into my clutch, pulled out an envelope. I debated whether to give you this. It's not my place. What is it? Something I think you deserve to know. He opened it. Photos, hotel receipts, text message screenshots. His wife, my husband. 14 months of betrayal. I watched his face change. Confusion, disbelief, horror. His hands started shaking. This can't be. I'm sorry, Kevin. I found out 3 months ago. I've been building a divorce case. But you deserve to know too. Why are you showing me this? Because you seem like a decent man, and decent people don't deserve to be lied to. He nodded slowly. Thank you, I think. What you do with this is your choice. I walked back to the party, found Darnell at the bar, laughing with colleagues, smiled, kissed his cheek. Miss me? Always, baby. 20 minutes later, I watched Kevin Williams march across the ballroom, straight to Keisha, straight to Darnell, and the holiday party turned into something else entirely. Kevin grabbed Darnell by the collar. You've been sleeping with my wife? The entire ballroom went silent. Darnell stammered. Man, what do you... I don't. I saw the pictures. 14 months? Keisha was crying. Kevin, please, let's talk at home. At home? After you've been going to hotels with him? Security started moving. Darnell's boss was watching. Everyone was watching. I stood at the edge of the crowd, sipping my champagne, watching my husband's carefully constructed image crumble in real time. We didn't speak for 20 minutes on the ride home. Finally, Darnell broke. "Did you have something to do with this?" I looked out the window. With what? Kevin finding out. How did he get those pictures? Are you really asking me how your affair got exposed? Nicole. No, you don't get to Nicole me. My voice was steel. You've been sleeping with that woman for over a year, lying to me every single day, and your first instinct is to ask if I set you up? He went quiet. Then, softly, "I'm sorry." "You're sorry you got caught." "No, I'm sorry I hurt you. Please, we can work through this. It was a mistake." 14 months is not a mistake. It's a choice, one you made over and over again. We pulled into the driveway. I got out of the car, walked to the door, stopped. "Darnell?" "Yeah?" "I'm filing for divorce. My lawyer will be in touch." His face went pale. "What?" "No, we can fix this. Go to counseling." "My decision is made." "But financially, we need to figure out—" I almost laughed. "Trust me, finances won't be a problem." Walked inside, locked the door behind me. 6 weeks later, Fulton County Courthouse, 9 a.m. Divorce hearing. I wore a simple black dress, professional, understated. Veronica Stone sat beside me. On the other side, Darnell and his lawyer Bradley looked like he'd been pulled from whatever ambulance he usually chased. And in the gallery, Mama Mitchell, arms crossed, face set in stone, ready to support her baby boy. Bradley went first. "Your Honor, my client seeks equitable division of marital assets. Mr. Mitchell has been the primary breadwinner, contributing significantly to the household. We're asking for 50% of all marital assets and consideration for spousal support." Primary breadwinner. I almost smiled. The judge nodded. "Ms. Stone?" Veronica stood slowly, adjusted her glasses. "Your Honor, before we discuss division, I need to establish what assets actually exist." Bradley looked confused. "We've provided financial disclosure." "Incomplete documents," Veronica cut in. "My client has assets not included in opposing counsel's projections because they didn't know about them." The judge leaned forward. "Explain." Veronica opened her folder. "My client owns 3 rental properties in metropolitan Atlanta." I heard Darnell shift. Property 1, duplex in Decatur, purchased 2018. Property 2, single-family home in East Point, purchased 2019. Property 3, townhouse in Kirkwood, purchased 2021. She looked at the judge. Combined current value, $1.2 million. "What?" Darnell, out loud, in court. His lawyer grabbed his arm. "Mr. Mitchell, she doesn't own any properties. I would know." The judge held up a hand. "Control yourself. Miss Stone, continue." Veronica smiled. "My client also maintains a diversified investment portfolio established in 2016. Current value, $2.8 million. Dead silence. Mama Mitchell's mouth fell open. Furthermore, my client co-founded Data Shield Solutions in 2015. She sold her majority stake but retained 34% ownership. Veronica paused, looked directly at Darnell. Current valuation, $4.6 million. That's when Mama Mitchell screamed. The judge banged her gavel. "Order!" Darnell found his voice. "She lied to me. She hid everything. That's fraud. That money should be mine. I'm her husband." The judge looked unimpressed. "Mr. Mitchell, lower your voice." "But, Your Honor, she deceived me. She made me think she was. She made me think she had nothing." "I never would have." He stopped, but everyone heard what he almost said. "He never would have married me if he'd known I was rich." Veronica stood again. Your Honor, Mr. Mitchell's outburst just proved my client's concerns. She kept her assets separate because she suspected, correctly, that she was chosen based on her perceived financial status. Objection, Bradley sputtered. On what grounds? He had nothing. Every asset I listed was acquired before the marriage, Veronica continued. My client never commingled these funds, never added Mr. Mitchell to any deeds or accounts. They were never marital property because he never contributed to them. She placed documents on the bench, purchase records, bank statements, corporate filings, everything documented. The judge reviewed the papers. These appear in order. She turned to Bradley. Do you have evidence Mr. Mitchell contributed to any of these assets? Bradley looked at Darnell. Darnell looked at the floor. No, Your Honor. Your Honor, please. Darnell stood, ignoring his lawyer. I'm the victim here. She tricked me. She made me believe. I thought she loved me for me. He was crying now. I thought I was taking care of her. I thought I was providing. She let me believe I was holding everything together. And the whole time, she was. He couldn't finish. The judge waited, then spoke. Mr. Mitchell, I've been on this bench 23 years. This is the first time I've heard a man claim victimhood because his wife was secretly successful. You married this woman believing she was broke. Her financial status influenced your decision. You then controlled household finances, questioned her spending, gave her an allowance from her own salary. Meanwhile, you had an affair for 14 months. She leaned forward. And now you want sympathy because she turned out to be wealthy? Because she didn't need you? That's not being a victim. That's facing consequences. Based on evidence presented, I rule as follows. The courtroom held its breath. All assets acquired by Mrs. Mitchell prior to marriage are confirmed as separate property. Mr. Mitchell has no claim. Darnell slumped. Marital assets will be divided 60-40 in favor of Mrs. Mitchell, given documented infidelity and financial controlling behavior. No spousal support awarded. Bradley started to object. Counsel, your client earns $95,000 a year. He doesn't need support. He needs a budget. Finally, Mr. Mitchell is ordered to pay Mrs. Mitchell's legal fees for wasting this court's time. She banged her gavel. Divorce granted. We're adjourned. Outside the courthouse, Mama Mitchell was waiting. You snake! You liar! You tricked my son! I stopped, turned. Mama Mitchell, I didn't trick anyone. Your son tricked himself. He saw a woman he thought was broke and decided she'd be easy to control. He was wrong. He loved you. He took care of you. He cheated for 14 months. He questioned every dollar I spent. He made me ask permission to get my hair done. That's what husbands do. He didn't provide anything. I stepped closer. I paid half of everything, and I never said a word because I wanted to see who he really was. Now I know. Now he knows. And now you know. You'll never find another man, she screamed. No man wants a woman smarter than him, richer than him. You'll die alone. I didn't turn around, just walked to my car, that I paid for, going to my apartment, that I own, to live my life, that I built. Alone sounded pretty good, actually. 2 weeks later, Darnell lost his job. When your affair gets exposed at the company holiday party, leadership notices. Not a good cultural fit. Without his salary, he couldn't afford his lifestyle. Last I heard, living with Mama Mitchell. 40 years old, divorced, unemployed, back with his mama. Kevin filed for divorce. Keisha lost her job, too. Same company, same scandal, same cultural fit. Month later, my phone rang. Unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Nicole. His voice, broken. Darnell. I wanted to apologize. For real. I was wrong. About everything. I didn't see you. I know. Is there any chance? Could we try again? I know you now, the real you. And Darnell. Yeah? When you thought I was broke, you controlled me, cheated on me, let your mother disrespect me. Now that you know I'm rich, you want me back? Silence. That's what I thought. Hung up, blocked the number, went on with my life. 6 months later, I'm sitting on the patio of my new house. In Buckhead. 5 bedrooms, big backyard. Bought it in cash, in my name. Data Shield is thriving. Maya called last month. Might be another buyout offer coming. Rental properties fully occupied. Investment portfolio up 12%. And me, for the first time in years, I'm not performing, not pretending to be less than I am, not making myself small so someone else can feel big. I'm just me, all $8.6 million of me. Here's what I want you to take from my story. 1. Protect yourself before marriage. Prenup, separate accounts, trusts. Don't let anybody tell you it's not romantic to protect what you built. 2. Watch how people treat those they think are beneath them. That's how they'll treat you when they think they got the upper hand. 3. A man who thinks he's saving you will expect gratitude forever, and that gratitude becomes control. 4. Quiet observation is more powerful than loud confrontation. I could have fought, could have screamed. Instead, I watched, documented, and when the time came, I had everything I needed. 5. Your grandmother was probably right. Whatever wisdom the women in your family passed down, listen to it. They learned those lessons in blood. He married me thinking I was broke, spent 4 years taking care of me, controlling me, cheating on me. He thought I had no options, thought I needed him, thought he was the prize. He was wrong, so wrong. The lesson? Don't show people everything you have. Show them who you are, and watch what they do with that information. Darnell showed me exactly who he was, a man who married someone he thought was beneath him, a man who controlled what he thought was a small pot of money, a man who cheated because he thought his wife had no options. And I showed him exactly who I am, a woman who builds empires in silence, a woman who waits for the perfect moment. A woman with 8.6 million reasons why you should never underestimate a quiet woman. If you're out there, quiet like me, if you're building something nobody knows about, if you're waiting for your moment, keep going. Your time is coming. And when it does, make sure they see your face when their face goes pale. Stay blessed, stay protected, stay paid, and never, ever let anyone make you feel lucky to be chosen. Because, baby, they're lucky to be in the room with you.